Welcome, friends. The dusty wind of the Wild West blew softly as the sun began to set behind the old tents. A young woman, her hands trembling and eyes filled with silent tears, fell to her knees before the lonely cowboy. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "Please take me. I can cook, I can bear you children too." The camp around them grew silent, everyone watching the fragile hope in her words. The cowboy's eyes, hidden beneath the wide shadow of his hat, softened for the first time in years. He had carried loneliness like a heavy saddle, but now this desperate plea touched his heart. She looked at him not with fear, but with a yearning to belong, to build a home, to find love where the desert had only given her pain. He lowered himself closer to her, dust swirling in the dim golden light, and for a moment the world seemed to stop. This was not just a whisper, it was the cry of a soul seeking comfort, safety, and a chance to be loved. And friends, such stories remind us that kindness, love, and compassion can change lives in ways we never expect. If this scene touched your heart, then please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video, because your support gives us strength to bring more emotional and life-changing stories for you. Soul of kindness. The night had fallen, and the fire in the center of the camp flickered against the cold desert breeze. The lonely cowboy sat quietly, staring into the flames, his rugged face marked by years of silence and battles with life. Suddenly, he heard the soft sound of footsteps. She was there again, the young woman whose words still echoed in his heart. She approached slowly, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, her hands folded nervously in front of her. She whispered again, her voice fragile yet full of courage, "I don't need riches. I don't need promises. I just need a place where my heart feels safe. Let me be that comfort for you. I will cook for you. I will stand by you in storms. I will bear your children and give you a family you never had." The cowboy's breath grew heavy. For years he had hidden his loneliness behind strength, believing no one would ever choose him. But here she was, kneeling before him, not asking for wealth, not for comfort, but offering her whole heart and life. The people around the fire grew silent, watching the scene unfold with awe. The desert night seemed to hold its breath, and the crackling firelight reflected the truth. Sometimes love comes to the broken when they least expect it. Friends, this scene reminds us that even the hardest hearts can soften when touched by genuine love and sacrifice. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this story with others. Your support keeps us going and allows Soul of Kindness to bring you more heart-touching stories of love, sacrifice, and hope. Welcome, friends. The morning sun rose slowly over the desert, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. The cowboy stood at the edge of the camp, his hat tilted low, watching the horizon as if searching for answers in the endless sky. His heart was heavy, torn between the solitude he had always known and the sudden warmth she had brought into his life. Behind him, the young woman walked softly, her dress brushing against the dusty ground. She stopped a few steps away, her voice trembling with both fear and hope. "I don't want to be a burden," she whispered. "I only want to stand beside you, to give you a home, a family, and love that will never fade." The cowboy slowly turned, his eyes meeting hers. For the first time in years, his heart beat faster, not from fear, not from loneliness, but from the possibility of belonging. The camp was quiet, only the sound of wind and distant horses breaking the silence. He reached out, not with words, but with a gentle hand that spoke more than promises could. Her eyes welled with tears, but this time they were tears of hope. In that moment, under the rising sun, two broken souls began to heal. Love, fragile yet powerful, found its way into the heart of the lonely cowboy. Friends, such stories remind us that love and kindness can change even the toughest journeys of life. Never stop believing in second chances. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this story, and keep supporting Soul of Kindness so we can continue bringing you more heart-touching tales. Welcome, friends. The camp was alive with the quiet sounds of dawn, horses neighing softly, the crackle of the fire fading, and the whispers of people beginning their day. Yet in the center of it all, The cowboy and the young woman stood together, closer than ever before. He had spent years believing his heart was too hardened, his soul too weary to love again. But her words, soft, trembling, and full of hope, had broken through the walls he had built around himself. He looked at her with a gaze that carried both gratitude and promise. Slowly, he took her hands in his, the roughness of his palms meeting the delicate touch of hers. The people of the camp watched quietly, some even smiling, for they knew they were witnessing something rare, the birth of a family, the beginning of love in a place where only loneliness had reigned. She smiled through her tears, whispering once more, "Thank you for choosing me." And the cowboy, with a steady voice, finally replied, "It was never a choice. It was always you." The desert sun rose higher, wrapping them both in golden light, as if the heavens themselves blessed their union. Love had found its way, turning despair into hope and solitude into companionship. Friends, this final scene reminds us that love, no matter how late it comes, is the greatest gift life can give. So please like, subscribe, comment, and share this story, and keep supporting Soul of Kindness, your channel of love, hope, and kindness.